Good evening. Welcome to the Massillon City Council meeting for Monday, October the 7th, 2024. We have in attendance with us tonight the following city officials.
Mayor Jamie Slutes. Here. Safety Service Director Renee Baker. Here. Law Director Justin Richard.
Present.
Assistant Law Director Edmund Mack. Chief Counsel Earl Wise.
Here.
City Engineer Alex Pitts.
Here.
Director of Development Ted Hernkane.
Here.
Police Chief Jason St. Noy.
Here.
Income Tax Budget Director Lori Katagides-Boron.
Here.
Health Department Commissioner Terry Argent.
Here.
Street Superintendent Tom Bergasser.
Here.
Is there anyone from administration I missed? That's it, Mr. President.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Item number 5 on tonight's agenda is where the public can speak on any item that appears on the agenda. And then on number 17 is where the public can speak on any item that does not appear on the agenda as well. I want to remind everyone with a cell phone at this time to please turn it down or set it on vibrate. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Brian Huth,
Present.
Creamer, Cunningham,
Present.
Gregg,
Here.
Harwick Smith,
Here.
Lewis,
Present.
Lombardi, Packley,
Here.
and Ray.
Here.
Roll call of 7 present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Councilman Lewis.
Yes, I make a motion that we excuse Councilman Lombardi and Councilwoman Creamer.
Second by Councilman Ray. Roll call, please.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Harwick Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Packley,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
and Brian Huth.
Yes.
7 yes to excuse Councilman Lombardi and Councilwoman Creamer.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Tonight's invocation is by Councilman Eric Ray. He will be doing the Pledge of Allegiance as well.
And the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. But lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Ray. Item number 4, reading of the journal. Madam Clerk, are the minutes of the previous meeting transcribed and open for public viewing?
Yes, they are.
Are there any additions or corrections that need to be made?
No, there are not.
If not, then the minutes stand approved as written. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
You're welcome.
Item number 5, remarks of delegations and citizens to matters on the agenda this evening. This is the part of the agenda where the community may come forward and speak on a topic that appears on the agenda. If you'd like to come forward, please come forward and speak on something. State your name, the ward you live in, the topic you wish to discuss, and please limit your comments to 4 minutes or less. Please keep in mind there will be no personal attacks on anyone present or not present. You may, however, address departments or positions. Please remember that this is not a question-answer session. And when you have finished, please sign the sign-in sheet on the counter and leave any prepared statements for our records. Anyone want to come forward?
Good evening. My name's Eric Hahn. I live in Louisville, Ohio, and I'd like to speak on Ordinance 99. Good evening, Council. As I said, my name's Eric Hahn. I am a journeyman electrician and the business manager for IBEW Local 540, located right here in Massillon. I represent over 950 members, many of which live in Massillon. I'm also the treasurer for the East Central Ohio Building and Construction Trades Council, and I am here to speak in opposition of Ordinance 99. The argument in favor of the proposed change is based on the idea that eliminating the ordinance would increase the number of bids for construction projects, creating a more competitive environment, which in turn would drive construction costs down. Now, I agree with the notion that more competition normally equals better pricing. But the question we need to ask ourselves is, will this proposal accomplish that goal? So with that in mind, what are we doing right now? Let's look at the city's past practice. The city has had this PLA language in its ordinance for over 10 years. During that time, we've only used that about 3 times. We've only negotiated a PLA about 3 times. It's important to note that when a project is released for bid, it is already determined whether or not a PLA is being used. And again, the city's only done this 3 times over the course of almost 15 years. The vast majority of projects are being done without PLAs, and according to the councilman, we're not getting enough bids. So this resolution would just give us more of the same. I think a more compelling argument could be made to say, maybe if we used more PLAs, we might get more bids. So when I first heard the resolution and that the city wasn't getting enough bids, the first thing that came to my mind is, how is the city advertising its projects for bid? Are they in the newspaper? Are they in the construction journal? Are they on the industrial info alerts? This is something that our council could really help with. You sign a PLA with us, I will share your projects with 15 to 20 of my contractors, and I will make sure they bid your projects because I want my members to have jobs. I want them to bid projects just as much as you guys. And I think we have a common goal here. We just have a little disagreement on how to accomplish that goal. So our Building Trades Council has a vast amount of knowledge in terms of what makes a contractor decide to bid a project or not. We can dive into the details of that and help you make informed decisions to attract more bidders. There certainly are factors that drive contractors away. We know what those are, and we can help you with that. And that's just the tip of the iceberg on some of the benefits that PLAs have for the city. And you're going to hear some more of those tonight. So before you make a decision on this, I'd love to have a meeting with the council to sit down, take a deeper dive into PLAs, and let's try them out. Let's negotiate a PLA. Let's do a project, and let's see how many bidders we get. This proposal, it just gives us more of the same. If history is any indicator of the future, I think it's fair to say that this resolution will not accomplish the goal that we're looking for. So let's try a new approach. Let's table this resolution, sit down together, and come up with a solution where everybody wins. I thank you for your time, and I look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jerry Durio. I'm a business representative for the sheet metal workers, and I'm also the president of the East Central Ohio Building and Construction Trades Council. I'm in opposition as well to Ordinance 99. I'm here to speak against that. We started this in 2011. We were very ecstatic to have PLAs in the city of Massillon just because of all the failed projects that were going on, ran over budget, just ran over budget, period. So we're talking about PLAs. I think there's a lot of misconceptions about PLAs. Like Eric stated, we want to help make everybody aware, all the facts of the PLAs, the ins and outs of the PLAs. One big misconception is a PLA that non-union people can't bid. You're looking at a lot of union people right here. Union people always know that the PLA is open for their bid. Non-union people bid as well. We're working on multiple projects right now in the city of Canton with non-union people getting those awards. It doesn't exclude anybody from the bid process, just so everybody knows. What it does is structure the bidding process. It helps your economic development directors. It helps ease the pain for you making the decision for all your constituents. So you own a PLA. The city owns the PLA. You write the exclusions you want in there, you write the parameters you want in there. What the bidders come in and do is they understand the work process, they understand that there's contractual processes for fair pay, fair retirement, fair health care, that all their workers are gonna be taken care of. The workers here, they're a union, obviously, but they all understand what their benefits are, whether they go, what project they work on, a big or a little project, doesn't matter at all. Everything stays the same for them. We've all been misled by like products and lesser quality, cheaper price. We've all been let down by that. What I try not to do is put down anybody that doesn't have the opportunity to become union, because everybody does have the opportunity to become union. We want everybody in. I mean, you can see there's a diverse crowd behind me. We accept everybody. We want everybody to have the chance to better themselves. These people live here and pay taxes here. They buy homes here. They're the ones, the second item I said, to pay taxes here. They're the ones that support everything around here. They deserve a good shot at it. If they don't get, the company they're working for doesn't get awarded the project, that's fine too. But they know that the taxes are going to be paid here on their behalf, basically to help the city fund everything. Eric touched on a couple points there. Responsible bid contracting, that's what we look for. You don't want somebody coming in to waterproof your basement that only has done roofs. They're going to do a substandard job. You're probably going to have callbacks. That leads to more cost. That's what we try to minimize in the PLA. When we sit down and draft a PLA with the city, we craft in everything that there is, not to exceed costs, contractual costs. I mean, we put everything in there and they follow it verbatim. If they make a mistake, they pay for that. The residents and the city doesn't pay for that. That's the problem. I mean, that's the problem you have with not having a PLA. There's no structure around it. And I would just say that the union tradespeople here, they're the ones that are unmatched in training. They spend their time at the apprenticeship learning their particular craft that they want. But they do it for their family, they do it for their community. They're big additions to our community. I don't think they should be overlooked by somebody coming in with a cheaper price, because you're just gonna not get that good of a job. Personally, you're sitting right now 5 minutes from one of our training centers here that we put a $3.6 million training center up here in Massillon on Venture Circle. I invite everybody to come up and look at it and see what we do, and let's just sit down and have a conversation, like Eric said, with the building trades, with us individually, just to understand the money that the members put into this, the money that the contractors put into this, and the training that they get, and they can walk away with a very good life, a good retirement, and take care of their family and show up to the football games on Friday night. And they love that. I would just say that the East Central Ohio Building Construction Trades, we are committed to serving all of our communities that we represent, and we look forward to working with you in the future. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Brett McElfresh. I'm a Massillon-Jackson resident, graduate of Washington High School in 02. Thank you for allowing me to speak this evening on a matter of most importance, project labor agreements or PLAs. I understand the city council has an ordinance that allows the use of PLAs by the mayor for construction projects. I also understand that Councilman Lewis has made a motion to eliminate this PLA ordinance. Again, I am Brett McElfresh, business manager of Plumbers, Pipe Fitters, and HVAC Local 94 here in Canton, Ohio. We cover this area also. Also, vice president of the East Central Ohio Building Construction Trades. Our organization has executed well over 200 PLAs in this area with great success for the end user. With these PLAs, we were able to help the owner of the project maintain, train, and qualified workers. Through our joint apprenticeship and training, continuous training for our journey persons, we mitigate labor disputes, safety accidents, drug testing, and aid in helping minority business owners, women, and veterans into the trades. Councilman Lewis, you have quoted time and time again in the newspapers over the years you have a goal in serving the constituents and better the city of Massillon. You have dedicated your life to the service of others. How does removing PLAs from the city of Massillon do that? The collective bargaining contracts of my members work under established prevailing wage rates for this area, their craft's line of work. These men and women toil in their respective fields of the trades daily. What they deserve is a fair wage, benefits, and retirement. The ugly truth is there are contractors, bad actors out there every day that do their finest to screw people out of this. The contractors and owners who do businesses under collective bargaining or PLAs understand their investment in the type of workers. They have a solid return. There is no reasonable conversation or data that can be produced to keep benefits, retirement, and fair wages from a worker's pockets will benefit anyone. The registered apprenticeships our members go through speak volumes on the dedicated and skilled workers we have provided to our contractors. Yes, very few of our non-union contractors have Department of Labor and Ohio Apprenticeship Council approval. These companies are not trying to develop a credible workforce. Instead, they are trying to push numbers and have no real interest in their employees. What you will receive by not using skilled workforce, trained workforce, and workforce dedicated to safety, substance abuse-free policies is jobs not being done correctly, over budget, and unsafe. If this council believes that this is the best way to spend tax income from the city of Massillon, you would be mistaken. Show that you will care and serve your constituents of supporting workers and only do business with companies that do also. Thank you. And I'd like to leave this too for city council and some other information.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Anyone else? Seeing none, we move forward. Item number 6, new and miscellaneous business. Councilman Lewis?
Yes, let me give a little bit of history before we can get to my motion for this evening. Approximately a little over 10 years ago, the city of Massillon was in fiscal emergency, and that was governed and overseen by the state of Ohio at that time. In order to come out of fiscal emergency, we did have to put together a plan that had to be adopted by the city and approved by the state of Ohio. And part of that plan was that the administration would submit a budget to the city council by October 15th every year in order for council to start our proceedings of having budgetary hearings, go through the readings, and eventually make adjustments or vote on the budget. With that said, the deadline to have the budget submitted to us is next Tuesday. However, we are receiving vital information to our budget on the 17th, and that is our insurance rates for our employees in the city, and it will greatly impact on the budget overall. So I am requesting, after speaking with the budget director, that we allow a extension in this particular year to the 23rd of October so that those numbers can be received. If you notice that the 15th is the day after a work session, so this body would not take up a formal review and discussion of that budget until the 28th anyways, so it does not impact our ability and our process or slow us down. It does allow the director, the budget director, those few extra days to get the numbers, make the adjustments to the budget, and submit us one clean copy instead of an amended copy later. So with all that said, I'd like to make a motion that this city council grants the administration extension of the budget deadline to be October 23rd, 2024.
That's second by Councilman Gregg. Roll call, please.
Gregg?
Yes.
Harwick Smith?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
Packley?
Yes.
Ray?
Yes.
Brian Huth?
Yes.
And Cunningham.
Yes.
7 yes to approve the extension of the budget deadline to October 23rd.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Councilman Gregg?
Thank you, President Slater. In accordance with Division G4, Section 2021.22 of the Ohio Revised Code, I move that we enter into executive session to include all members of council, the President of Council, Mayor Jamie Slutz, Director of Safety and Service Renee Baker, Budget Director Lori Katagides-Boron, Chief of Police Jason St. Noy, Street Department Superintendent Tom Bergasser, Law Director Justin Richard, representatives of the Law Department Edmund Mack and Earl Wise. I believe that's, did I get everybody? The purpose of the executive session is for reviewing negotiation sessions relating to the collective bargaining agreements with several of the city's public employees' unions concerning their compensation and other terms and conditions of their employment. Is there a second?
Second by Councilwoman Huth. Roll call, please.
Harwick Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Packley,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
and Gregg.
Yes.
7 yes to enter into executive session.
Councilman Gregg?
Thank you, President Slater. Make a motion that we return from executive session.
Second by Councilman Ray. Roll call, please.
Lewis,
Yes.
Packley,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
and Harwick Smith.
Yes.
7 yes to exit executive session.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Item number 7, introduction of ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance number 89-2024.
An ordinance repealing Section 2 of Ordinance 15, 2019, and enacting a new Section 2D occupation list of class titles of Ordinance 127, 1997, Department 845, Community Development Planning Department in the city of Massillon, Ohio.
Councilman Gregg?
First reading.
Ordinance number 89-2024 has received its first reading. Ordinance number 90-2024.
An ordinance making certain appropriations from the unappropriated balance of the 1234 Park and Recreation Fund, Legends, for the year ending December 31st, 2024.
Councilman Lewis?
Yes, this is a $25,000 appropriation from their funding, and that is to assist with the increased needs that they have. They've had a lot more events and whatnot going on, so they just need to get a little bit more throughout the year. If there is no questions or discussion this evening, seeing none, I make a motion that we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bring ordinance number 90-2024 forward for a vote.
Second by Councilman Gregg. Roll call for suspension, please.
Packley,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Harwick Swift,
Yes.
and Lewis.
Yes.
7 yes for suspension.
And for passage, please.
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Harwick Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
and Packley.
Yes.
7 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 90-2024 has passed. Ordinance number 91-2024.
An ordinance making certain appropriations from the unappropriated balance of the 1235 Community Health Services Fund for the year ending December 31st, 2024.
Councilman Lewis?
Yes, this $1,000 appropriation is for the emergency man gate down at the health department. Are there any questions or discussion this evening? Seeing none, I make a motion we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bring ordinance number 91-2024 forward for a vote.
Second by Councilman Gregg. Roll call, please, for suspension.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Harwick Smith, Lewis,
Yes.
Packley,
Yes.
and Ray.
Yes.
7 yes for suspension.
And for passage, please.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Hardwick Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Packley,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
and Brian Huth.
Yes.
7 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 91-2024 has passed. Ordinance number 91-204 has passed. Ordinance number 92-2024.
An ordinance making certain appropriations from the unappropriated balance of the 1235 Community Health Services Fund for the year ending December 31st, 2024.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, this $300 appropriation is to reimburse WIC for expenses that they had for a local fair. Any questions or discussion this evening? Seeing none, I make a motion, we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, reading ordinance number 92-2024, forward for a vote.
Second by Councilman Gregg. Roll call for suspension, please.
Gregg,
Yes.
Hardwick Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Packley,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
and Cunningham.
Yes.
7 yes for suspension.
And for passage, please.
Hardwick Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Packley,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
and Gregg.
Yes.
7 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 92-2024 has passed. Ordinance number 93-2024.
An ordinance making certain appropriations from the unappropriated balance of the 1100 General Fund for the purpose of the Massillon Police Department for the year ending December 31st, 2024.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, these funds are a reimbursement from a grant that we had used to purchase body armor. We're taking now the reimbursed dollars and wanting to put those dollars towards the lease purchase of a new vehicle for the police department. Are there any questions or discussion? Seeing none, I make a motion that we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bringing ordinance number 93-2024 forward for a vote.
Second by Councilman Gregg. Roll call for suspension, please.
Lewis,
Yes.
Packley,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
and Hardwick Smith.
Yes.
7 yes for suspension.
And for passage, please.
Packley,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Hardwick Smith,
Yes.
and Lewis.
Yes.
7 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 93-2024 has passed. Ordinance number 94-2024.
An ordinance making certain appropriations from the unappropriated balance of the 1100 General Fund for the purpose of Massillon Police Department for the year ending December 31st, 2024.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, this is again money that we received in reimbursement for continued education related to the police officers and the mandated continuing education they have to go through. So now we're taking that reimbursement and appropriating it to our salary line item. Are there any questions or discussion this evening? Seeing none, I make a motion we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bringing ordinance number 94-2024 forward for a vote.
Second by Councilman Gregg. Roll call for suspension, please.
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Hardwick Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
and Packley.
Yes.
7 yes for suspension.
And for passage, please.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Hardwick Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Packley,
Yes.
and Ray.
Yes.
7 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 94-2024 has passed. Ordinance number 95-2024.
An ordinance making certain appropriations from the unappropriated balance of the 1100 General Fund for the purpose of the Income Tax Department for the year ending December 31st, 2024.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, this is appropriation for $75,000 that will hopefully cover us to the end of the year so we can meet our obligation for income tax refunds that are received at the city. Are there any questions or discussion this evening? Seeing none, I make a motion that we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bringing ordinance number 95-2024 forward for a vote.
Second by Councilman Gregg. Roll call for suspension, please.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Hardwick Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Packley,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
and Brian Hoot.
Yes.
7 yes for suspension.
And for passage, please.
Gregg,
Yes.
Hardwick Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Packley,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
and Cunningham.
Yes.
7 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 95-2024 has passed. Ordinance number 96-2024.
An ordinance making certain appropriations from the unappropriated balance of the 3112 donation fund for the purpose of the Roberson Splash Pad project for the year ending December 31st, 2024.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, this appropriation of $106,345 is from donated funds for the related project. Are there any questions or discussion this evening? Seeing none, I make a motion we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bring ordinance number 96-2024 forward for a vote.
Second by Councilman Gregg. Roll call for suspension, please.
Hardwick Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Packley,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
and Gregg.
Yes.
7 yes for suspension.
And for passage, please.
Lewis,
Yes.
Packley,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
and Hardwick Smith.
Yes.
7 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 96-2024 has passed. Ordinance number 97-2024.
An ordinance making certain appropriations from the unappropriated balance of the 1222 Waste Management Grant Fund for the year ending December 31st, 2024.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, this is a grant that we receive annually at the city to be used for general waste management services within the city. This year, it looks like we are proposing that we use it for yard cleanup, the cost associated with that. Are there any questions or discussion this evening? Seeing none, I make a motion we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bring ordinance number 97-2024 forward for a vote.
Second by Councilman Gregg. Roll call for suspension, please.
Packley,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Hardwick Smith,
Yes.
and Lewis.
Yes.
7 yes for suspension.
And for passage, please.
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Hardwick Smith.
Yes.
That's 7 yes for passage. Or did I call Packley?
You didn't call.
I didn't call Packley, okay. And
Yes.
Packley.
Yes.
Now it's 7 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 97-2024 has passed. Ordinance number 98-2024.
An ordinance making certain appropriations from the unappropriated balance of the 1203 Community Development Block Grant CDBG Fund for the year ending December 31st, 2024, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, this appropriation for $432,016 is part of our Community Development Block Grant. These are federal funding that we receive. CDBG works on a fiscal year while we work on that calendar year. So with the change of the mid-year and the funding coming in, we just have to appropriate these dollars for the remainder of the year. These are in line with the agreements that we made earlier in the year of our funding of this program. Are there any questions or discussion this evening? Seeing none, I make a motion we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bring ordinance number 98-2024 forward for a vote.
Second by Councilman Gregg. Roll call for suspension, please.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Hardwick Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Packley,
Yes.
and Ray.
Yes.
7 yes for suspension.
And for passage, please.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Hardwick Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Packley,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
and Brian Huth.
Yes.
7 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 98-2024 has passed. Ordinance number 99-2024.
An ordinance repealing ordinance number 31-2011, which establishes procedures to determine the lowest and best bid for the construction of public improvements in the city of Massillon, Ohio, and to allow the use of project labor agreements for the construction of certain public improvements in the city of Massillon, Ohio.
Councilman Lewis.
First reading.
Ordinance number 99-2024 has received its first reading. Ordinance number 100-2024.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Massillon, Ohio, to submit an application for funding for the Ohio Public Works Commission, OPWC, for the funding year 2025 and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis.
Excuse me. Mr. President, can I call forward the city engineer?
Yes, you can.
As he comes forward, this piece was not on the work session. Members of Finance Committee were contacted last week asking that we place this on due to time sensitivity. Mr. Pitts, if you can continue from there.
Yes, so this ordinance is to allow for us to apply for the OPWC grant that is due this Friday. The plan is to submit Warmington Road as a part of the OPWC grant, and that involves completely reconstructing the roadway, widening it, adding curb, gutter, and restoration of the bridge. So the project limits would be from State Route 21 down to the railroad tracks to the west. So, yeah, so at this time, we're just requesting to have this passed tonight if possible so we can apply for the grant that's due Friday, so.
And Mr. Pitts, this particular street, Warmington Road, receives heavy truck traffic due to industry on this road, and we've had ongoing issues, particularly with that bridge. Is that correct?
Correct, yes.
And OPWC funding, if we were to be awarded it, would cover 80%?
Yes, I'm actually going to ask for more than that. I'm going to ask for 90.
Okay.
I'll do a 90-10 split. The cost estimate is around 2.7 million, so.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Pitts?
That's for the entire project?
Yes, correct.
I have a question. The
Councilman Pat.
businesses there, so you have Greif Brothers and the Sand Pit and Pepsi, or is it Pepsi or Coke there? Are they investing any money in this, or do they want to? Have they been approached in that?
They have not been approached, but since it is a public roadway and within the public right-of-way, anybody in the city of Massillon has the right to use it, so we wanted to just, it's our due diligence of, taking care of the pavement there. So it needs completely reconstructed due to the truck traffic. I get that. To answer your question, no, I have not reached out to the private entities there, but I could, for sure.
Just curious, because, the road is in bad shape.
Councilman Harvey Smith.
Thank you, President Slater. What did you say the estimated cost is of the project?
At this time, it is 2.7 million.
So, so before when they did it, was it last year even? They just paved it, they went over it, so now we're gonna go all the way down and we're gonna because it's just all heavy truck. I drive this road all the time. It's a mess, and it's from all the trucks and everyone coming into the scrapyard and this, and so, yeah, it needs done right. We have people from.
Yeah, so it's not just going to be an overlay. So we're going to reconstruct the entire roadway. That goes all the way down to the base. We're going to widen it, add the curb and gutter, the whole shebang. And that's why it never was included into like a resurfacing program. I believe last year, I know Warmington was a question, whether or not it could be included into the 2024 resurfacing program. And that's why, is because it needs full reconstruction. Even if we just went and paved it,
We're just wasting our time.
exactly. So,
So this would be for 25?
correct.
Get done in
Hopefully,
25?
yes.
Any more questions? Councilman Packley.
When, or hopefully this project does take place, so if the road, will it be closed during that time?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah,
Are the
we're
trucks
gonna
gonna be
need,
able to head west on that road then, Warmington Road, to exit
I believe so. We'll have an MOT plan associated with it. The plans aren't final. We have preliminary plans, which is good for the grant process, but
Okay.
we'll finalize it here if we are awarded the
Just
the
because
money
with
isn't-
with the railroad tracks there and that hump, that semis will be able to make it over the hump and rather,
I'm thinking that we're probably going to try to do limited access for now. If any, trucks or anyone needs to get to, work or something like that, we'll allow that. But as far as full-on open, we're just not going to be able to because of the type of project that it will be,
Okay.
so.
all right, well, thanks. Sorry for putting the cart before the horse, but.
Oh, no, you're fine. You're fine.
Any more questions?
All right.
Councilman Lewis?
With that, I'd like to make a motion that we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bring ordinance number 100-2024 forward for a vote.
Second by Councilman Gregg. Roll call for suspension, please.
Gregg,
Yes.
Howard Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Hackley,
Yes,
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
and Cunningham.
Yes.
7 yes for suspension.
And for passage, please.
Howard Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Hackley,
yes,
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
and Howard Smith? I started with you,
Started
didn't
with
I? Okay. So that would be 7 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 100-2024 has passed. Item number 8, unfinished business. Seeing none, we move forward. Item number 9, petitions and general communications.
Yes, we have a request for a stock exchange of a liquor license to Sheev Gari Incorporated, doing business as Massillon Mini Mart, located at 2622 Lincoln Way West, Massillon, Ohio, 44647. That should be a 6 instead of a 7. Permit classes are C1 and C2 and is located in Ward 6.
Councilman Papley, did you receive a copy of this?
I did.
Okay, great.
And I've received no questions or concerns regarding. Yes, Mr. White.
Yes, sir.
Yes, if I may, Councilman Packley and I discussed this right before the committee. I've looked this up. This is we received 2 pages, certified mail from the applicants, I believe. And this application is at least a 6-page application. So I don't know that there's any reason to act upon this, there's any required action. And the liquor control will have to approve this. But I would suggest that we note that we received 2 pages of the 6-page application, and I will further look into it and see if we need, the signature pages were not included in this letter, so I don't know if that's important or not, but just to make sure that everyone on council knows that what we received, I believe it is page 1 of 1, and then page 3 of 6. So there's some other information not on, that we didn't receive that I think has to be filled out and signed, so.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
And what it is, from what we could determine from what was provided, was it appears that it's the ownership change of the business. So it's a stock exchange, not stock exchange, the name of the business, because it was capitalized, but it's a stock exchange from the business. But thank you, Mr. Wise.
All right. Item number 10, bills, accounts, and claims.
Yes, we have a bill in the amount of $127 payable to U.S. Bank Equipment Finance, which is our October payment for our copier. And we have a bill payable to First Commonwealth Bank in the amount of $8.83. I had to buy a new received date stamp from Office Max, for a total of $135.83.
Councilman Lewis,
Make a motion to pay the bills.
second by Councilman Gregg. Roll call, please.
Lewis,
Yes.
Packley,
Yes,
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
and Harwick Smith.
Yes.
7 yes to pay the bills.
Thank you. The clerk will pay the bills and charge them to the proper accounts. Item number 11, reports from city officials.
Yes, we have the treasurer's report for August 2024. We have the health commissioner's report, which is an annual report required in October of 2024. And we also have the auditor's report for September 2024.
Councilman Lewis,
Make a motion to receive the auditor's report?
second by Councilman Gregg. Roll call, please.
Packley,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Cunningham.
Yes.
I just changed your name. Gregg,
Yes.
Harwick Smith,
Yes.
and Lewis.
Yes.
7 yes to accept the auditor's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Item number 12, reports of committees. Our next work section will be Monday, October the 14th, 2024 at 6:30 PM. Item number 13, resolutions and requests of council members. Item number 14, call of the calendar. Item number 15, third reading ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance number 78-2024.
An ordinance enacting Chapter 558 Tree Removal Program under Part 5 General Offenses Code of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Massillon, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Packley.
Thank you, President Slater. I would like to move forward with a vote. Does anyone have any questions? Concerns? See none?
Any questions?
Any questions? I make a motion to move forward to a vote? Suspend the rules, but this is the third.
Third reading.
Correct, it's got to go.
That's okay.
He's good.
Good one, Councilman Packley.
Now who's the rookie?
We didn't make an amendment to this?
Yeah, it's supposed to be amended.
So it went back to first reading. I'm sorry.
We didn't amend it in the council meeting.
Oh, okay. Can I speak?
So you have to make a motion to amend it to the version that,
It was present before us.
right, the one that Chief Counsel Earl emailed to us last week.
Okay.
And it was sent out to everybody to look it over.
I'll make.
Motion to amend.
To amend.
So we'll vote on that.
Then we'll vote on that. Vote on
Correct.
the amendment.
And then it goes back to first read.
Second by Councilman Cunningham?
To amend?
Correct, to amend, I'm
Okay.
sorry, to amend. Roll call, please.
Okay. Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Harwick Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
and Packley.
Yes.
7 yes to amend ordinance number 78 per the final draft sent out by Chief Counsel Earl Wise.
And now we're going to vote, so,
So
I'm sorry. I need to make a motion, please. to
I'd
vote.
like to make a motion to waive the rules for requiring third reading and bring to order ordinance number 78-2024 for vote.
I need a second, please. Councilman Cunningham? Roll call, please.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Harwick Smith, Lewis,
Yes.
Packley,
Yes.
and Ray.
Yes.
7 yes to amend ordinance number 78, or do I already do
No,
the
that
amendment?
was-
This
that
is
was
for
to waive.
suspension.
To pass it.
I'm sorry?
That was to
suspend the
waive.
rules. That was suspend
That's for
the rules.
suspension then.
Then,
Now we need to vote on it.
Now let's vote.
And that was for
Y'all been here too long today.
We need a flow chart.
And for passage.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
yes.
Harwick Smith,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Packley,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
and Brian Hoot.
Yes.
Yes to the trees.
No to the
7
trees.
yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 78-2024 has passed. Item number 16, second reading ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance number 81-2024.
An ordinance amending the zoning map of the city of Massillon, Ohio by rezoning certain properties from B-1 Local Business District and RM-1 Multiple Family Residential to B3 General Business District.
Councilman Gregg.
Second reading.
Ordinance number 81-2024 has received its second reading. Ordinance number 82-2024.
An ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service and Safety of the City of Massillon, Ohio, to enter into the Northeast Ohio Public Energy Council, NOPEC, and execute and deliver the agreement establishing NOPEC and approving the bylaws of NOPEC.
Councilman Bryant Huth.
Second reading, please.
Ordinance number 82-2024 has received its second reading. Ordinance number 83-2024.
An ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service and Safety. No, that's not right. We're on 83, right? 82 just received second reading.
Yes.
Correct? Ordinance number 83 is an ordinance approving the plan of operation and governance of the Northeast Ohio Public Energy Council, NOPEC, electricity aggregation program for the purpose of jointly establishing and implementing an electricity aggregation program.
Councilman Bryant Huth.
Second reading.
Ordinance number 83-2024 has received its second reading. Ordinance number 84-2024.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor and the Director of Public Service and Safety of the City of Massillon, Ohio, to accept and enter into a collective bargaining agreement between AFSCME, Ohio Council 8, Local 996, AFL-CIO, Streets and Parks Department, and the City of Massillon, Ohio, effective April 1, 2024 through March 31st, 2027, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Gregg.
Thank you, President Slater. I had originally planned to bring this forward for a vote this evening, but given the fact that we do have two members of council that would likely have questions regarding this piece of legislation, as well as ordinance number 85, 2024, and 86, 2024, that go along to get, they kind of go together, I'm going to give this second reading.
Ordinance number 84-2024 received its second reading. You want to do it, you said 85 as well? And 86? All connected together for the separate readings?
Yeah, but we need to do them, you
Correct.
need to do them
Correct.
separately, but yes.
That's fine. Okay, ordinance number 85-2024.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor and the Director of Public Service and Safety of the City of Massillon, Ohio, to accept and enter into a collective bargaining agreement between AFSCME, Ohio Council 8, Local 996, AFL-CIO Wastewater Treatment Department, and the City of Massillon, Ohio, effective April 1, 2024 through March 31st, 2027, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Gregg.
Second reading.
Ordinance number 85-2024 received its second reading.
Ordinance number 8, oops, I'm sorry.
Ordinance number 86-2024.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor and the Director of Public Service and Safety of the City of Massillon, Ohio, to enter into a collective bargaining agreement with the Massillon FOP Henderson Lodge Police Officers Association, Blue Unit, effective July 1, 2024 through June 30th, 2027, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Gregg.
Second reading.
Ordinance number 86-2024 has received its second reading. Item number 17, remarks of delegations and citizens to matters not on the agenda. Is there anyone present that would like to speak on a topic which did not appear on the agenda this evening? If so, please come forward, state your name, the ward you live in, the topic you wish to discuss, and please limit your comments to 4 minutes or less. Seeing none, we move forward. Number 18, Councilman Ray,
I make a motion that we adjourn.
second by Councilman Cunningham.
Well, Mr. President Slater?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Gregg would like to give a shout out to the Tigers today.
Thank you, Councilwoman Cunningham. Yeah, big shout out to the Massillon Tiger football team. They had a victory this past Friday night over another international opponent from Canada. Tigers are doing well and got a big game coming up this weekend, this Friday, with the team from Texas. So we're looking forward to that. So go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Second by Councilman Cunningham to adjourn. Adjourned. Want to make a motion? We'll make a motion. Adios.